Hi everyone, so we're going to be looking at how we can begin unit testing for different device sizes. Like for example, here I got desktop view, which is a red box, and if I inspect this, you can see we can get to iPad Air, tablet view, it's a yellow box, and then here iPhone XR, it's an orange box, and we're just going to be unit testing with Playwright to see how we can test for the different device sizes. So I just opened up my Visual Studio and I'm just going to go to the desktop and I'll just do npx create next app, and I'll just say Playwright browser sizes testing. And then I'll just set up a basic template. So I'll say no to all the options here. No, 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 no. Use the arrow keys on the keyboard and say no, no. And I'll just wait for that to finish. And then I'll just drag and drop the project over once it's done. And I will begin coding out this application. I'm just going to actually clean out some of the pages to make it really simple. So I'm going to go to pages, index.js, and I'm just going to get rid of a few things here. Get rid of the head tag and the stuff in between the main. And I'll get rid of this inter. And we can get rid of all of that stuff. And I'm just going to set up the basic template for now. Okay, I'm going to add some sort of style here, and I'll give an ID of coloring. And I don't know, paragraph tag, studying. So just something really simple like this. I'm going to add some sort of box here that is going to do the coloring on the screen. And in order to actually set up those colors, I'm going to have to edit my styles here. I'm going to go to globals.css. I'm just going to have an empty root for now. And what I'll do is I will have, I'm going to set up my colors here actually. So dash dash red background. Dash dash orange background. Dash dash yellow background. So I have red, orange, and yellow that I'm going to be using in my application. And what I'll do is I'm going to go to my home.module.css. I'm going to only keep a few things, so everything under the main, but I'll also keep some stuff. So let me just scroll down slowly. And I'm going to keep this mobile view. So mobile, just keep the mobile part. And I'm just going to delete the contents inside the mobile. And then I got tablet. This is good. And I'll delete everything else underneath. So I got my mobile and tablet, and then I'll put my desktop stuff up here. And for my desktop, I'll make a dot container width, 100 view width, height, 100 view height, background color. I'm going to use my red background. So the main desktop, it'll have a red background for that square or rectangle. And then I'm going to copy this container. I'm going to put it into mobile. And I'm going to make this a different color here. I'll make this orange. Orange dash background. And then for the tablet here, I'll make this the yellow dash background. So those should be good. So I just made the container for the desktop, which is red, the mobile, which has the background of orange, and then the tablet, which has a background of yellow. So we should see different boxes based on the different device sizes. I'm gonna just run this to make sure that I actually see the different colors. So I'll do npm run dev, the red box, and then if I inspect, I will go to my tablet first, iPad Air, and you can see it's a yellow background, and then XR, you can see it's an orange background, so we know that these colors are working based on the different device sizes. So now what I'll do is I'll have to install Playwright. So I'm just going to write this here. So we got 4 steps here that we just need to follow in order to run this application properly. So let's first install Playwright. Since I already ran it, I'm going to open up a new terminal here. And in this new terminal, I'm going to paste that command to install Playwright. And I'm going to select JavaScript because we're not going to use TypeScript. I'm going to keep everything else the default, so just hit enter, enter, enter. The only thing we changed was the first one. We have to select JavaScript. And then we'll do npm, or then we'll just run the test. So we'll do npx playwright test. Now I'll run the report. I'm just running the report to make sure all the setup process works properly. Alright, so it looks like we have got it started, so it's great. We just need to change this example.spec to a test for our home page now. So in my test example.spec, we're actually going to change this. So I'm going to change the title to home.spec.js because I'm going to be testing for my home page. And I'm going to remove just these tests down below. I only want to keep this first line of code right here for the const. And then I'll start writing my own unit test here. So what I'll start doing now is I'll just set up a bunch of the code. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the before each and after each. So before each of the tests, I'm going to run a console log, and after each of the tests, I'm going to run another console log. And I'm just going to be testing first. Let's just test for the header tag first. So in the header, I just want to go to my home page, which is localhost 3000, and then it's going to do the testing for the h1 tag that we set up. So it's page locator h1, so it looks for h1 tag, and it needs to contain the text of home page, which if I look on my home page right now, it does have h1 tag and the home page text. And then what's going to happen is there's a paragraph tag it's looking for, and it's going to look just get by text and should say studying, and it has to be visible, so we have to see it on the page when we do npm run dev, which we see right here. And what we're going to do is next after I test the header, I actually want to test for a specific color depending on the device size. I'm going to test for the box color. So what I'll do is I'll set up another test right here. So test.describe, this is for tablet view block. So if we take a look at this test.use is going to first check to see if we are at the right viewport. So it will look only at this viewport that is between the width of 820 to height of 180 or less. So as long as the viewport is between around this size, then it will pass the test. So only in this test block here, it's going to be using that viewport size, which is a tablet size. And we're going to set this testing, which is, I'm just going to call it coloring. And we're going to look on the page for some sort of ID of hashtag coloring. And the hashtag coloring is right here, ID of coloring. So as long as the words match, that will be good. And what we're going to do is we're going to use that main container, which is the color box, and we're going to evaluate what's inside of it. And we're going to see, based on what we see on the window, we're going to get this computed style, which is grabbing a property value of background color. So it's actually looking at the CSS colors, and the CSS color is coming from our home.module right here, container, and we got a background color of whatever that color is. And if we go to our actual home page, you can see here the styles.container is coming from our styles, which is the home.module.css. And as long as the background color it matches right here, we expect that background color to be this RGB value, then we should be able to pass it. So we're testing for this color right here. And let's also set up another test. So the next test block right here, which I'll paste right here, it's going to be in a test.describe, because now we're just going to be testing for the mobile view block, which is when we use test.use, we're going to look for the viewport that has a width of 414 and a height of 896 or less. So as long as it's between these values or less, we're going to do this unit testing down below. And we're going to test for coloring again. And we're going to look for that hashtag color. And now when we evaluate what's going on the screen, we're going to see the property value, whatever that background color is, because remember, for a mobile device, when we went to our styles here, the tablet would have its own background color of yellow, but then here, the mobile, it'll have a background color of orange. So we have different colors for different device sizes. And if I go back to my test here, depending on what the property value is, we are going to expect whatever has been written in that style for that page, for that device size, it has to be this RGB value exactly like this. So let's actually test out to see if our colors match based on the different screen sizes. I'm going to end this report here. I'll run npx playwright test again. And now I will show the report for Playwright. So it looks like we passed 12 tests. Let's see if we have any errors or anything. So you can see right here, it looks like we have green check marks for everything. So everything looks like it's working. It's testing for the tablet you see here, tablet viewport block, mobile viewport block, testing for those colors, and they both passed, so we know that it has been working